Hey, this is Jared with JTK and SolarCleano. In this video, we're going to go over what to do when you get your new F1 or M1. In this video, we're going to discuss the F1. So when your crate shows up like this, it'll have clips like these here on all sides of the crate. Just need a standard screwdriver to pop them off. We already have this one off for the video. Once you remove all the clips, pull the panel off and set it to the side. Once the box is opened, you can see here there's two shelves. The top shelf will contain the brushes, the bottom will contain the chassis. First thing you want to do is pull out the first brush. One thing you do always want to do is inspect the crate when it arrives, make sure it's not damaged. If it is damaged, contact whomever you bought it from, whether it's JTK, SolarCleano, or another distributor, but you do want to check that. Again, inspect the brushes. You want to look if there's any scratches on it itself. Check if the brackets here got bent somehow during transportation. Just look for any visible damage. So if there's no obvious damage like in this one, then you're good to go. You can continue to unpack the top shelf. So every crate will come with a spare part kit here. So it has some glue, some extra pads for the tracks, and then miscellaneous hardware. You will want to hang on to this. Over time, different nuts and bolts will vibrate loose, so this bag will come in handy. Also, if you ordered a camera kit, this will come in the crate as well on the top shelf with the two brushes. As you can see there, I kind of rocked it to get it out. If possible, try not to slide it in order to prevent ripping pads off the tracks. Okay, we now have the chassis and both brushes out of the crate. So we're going to walk through what it looks like to connect everything up. We're also going to go through the contents of the box here. In your crate, you'll get a box similar to this one. Go ahead and open it up. So inside your box will be a long box with a plug on it. This is the charger for your 24-volt batteries for your robot. We'll discuss how to install that in a minute. The controller with the screen if you got the camera option. If you did not get the camera option, this assembly here would not be part of this. It would just be the controller along with the belt. For shipping reasons, we do not ship the batteries with the crate. They come separately. So you will get two battery connector leads, which again, we'll discuss how to install those. You will receive a user manual as well as a warranty packet, and then also a user guide if you order the camera. These are great resources. I would recommend reading through this. A lot of what's in here is covered in our videos, but this is a great reference to keep with you. Again, if you ordered the camera kit, you will have a medium-sized white box like this, which has the charger and all the accessories for the screen. And then lastly, you will receive the charger for the battery of the controller. So this is all the different chargers that come with it. So we're going to walk through each item, what it is and how it works. So if you have the camera set up, this is the battery for it. It does have a magnetic back, which goes right onto the plate there. You connect these two cables together. There's a male and a female end. When you're ready to charge this battery, right now, as you push the power button, you can see we have full charge there. When it is depleted and we're ready to charge it, take the cable, simply plug it into an outlet. The lights on here will indicate when you're at a full charge. If you do not have the camera accessory, obviously none of that would be attached. You would just have the controller. So on the controller here on the back side, you can see this little black square here. That's your battery. Push down and pull out. To charge this, it's very simple. The charger that comes with it, you can see the spare batteries already in there. Line up the 3 brass circles with the 3 brass prongs there. Simply tip it in, pull it down, it's seated. The cable that's in the box, which is actually the same for the screen charger, simply just plug it in as well. Plug it into your wall outlet. The lights will tell you when it is fully charged. This is the battery that you will be receiving separately. They come with 2 from factory. Pretty straightforward. It's a 13mm wrench. Finger tighten each connection before you crank it down with a socket or a wrench. Also, the other thing to note is, generally speaking, it works better to have it on the outside of the handle. If you put it on the inside of the handle, sometimes it will force the handle to stand up, which when we put it in the robot, you'll see sometimes will cause the lid to stay open. It comes down to personal preference. You can try it either way, see what works for you. Once the cable is installed, you will want to charge it for the first time. This is the charger that was in the long brown box. It does come with a spare fuse. The fuse is located on the end where you would plug it into the wall, here with the symbol of a fuse. If you plug your charger in and you do not get any lights here, you can check the fuse. There's also a separate fuse on this side. There's 2 fuses on these. Most times it is this fuse if you have an issue. Once you have everything connected, if you look on the end of the plug here, there is a small indentation there on the bottom side. On the cable that attaches to the charger, there's a matching groove on the bottom here. Those need to line up in order for the cables to connect. If you can't simply push it on like that, you don't have it lined up, you have one of them rotated. Once you have it, simply take your pointer finger and thumb on either hand, only spin the black 2 connections. You don't want to turn the blue or the outer black, only the inner 2. Once it's bottomed out, the charger will then indicate what is going on. Obviously, we don't have it connected to the power at the moment. So we now have the robot ready to start putting together for the first time. As you'll notice, each of the cables are indicated by different color tape. So this one has a grayish white on it. Over here we have red, blue, and green. With every cable, there's another one that matches the same color to it. So we are going to make sure our pins are pulled out. We're going to then take the brush, line up the pins and drop it in. These fasteners are to make sure that the brush wouldn't bounce off. When attaching the 2 cables, it's important to, 1, put red to red, but also match the screw on each cable and have the clip on the top. If you can't push it together with ease, something is messed up. Simply push down, you're locked in place. Then take your water hose, simply snap it in to the hose on the brush, and brush 1 is ready to go. Do the same thing on the other side. Make sure your pins are pulled out. Take your brush, tip it up, drop it down, lock your pins in, take your cables, again, line the screws up on the top, simple push together, snap down, take your water line. You will have to move your water lines accordingly. Sometimes you have to adjust it slightly. And then also these grooves here on the sides, there's some here and on the other side. This is where you want your cables to come through in order for your cover to properly seat. As you can see, we have already installed the battery. It is the same connection here that we showed earlier in the video on the charger. One other thing I wanted to mention is, as you can see, your 2 battery terminals are exposed and there is the potential that something could short across them. We recommend just taking some basic tape, ripping a small piece off like such, and just simply going across the top to prevent the cover, if it's not seated properly, from bouncing and shorting out the main fuse in the box. We are going to install the cover here and then do a quick run through on how to drive your robot. Simply slide it in from the back, line up the antenna hole, the power button hole, move your water arm out of the way, Close your lid and you're ready to go. If you have the camera option, you can check out one of our other videos on how to set that up. For now, we're just going to walk through what to do if you have the robot only. So the first thing you need to do is the red stop button needs to be pulled up. Your water solenoid valve must be in the off position. Once you've done that, you're ready to start. You then push the power button on your robot. As you see it illuminated blue, you will then push the auxiliary button up once. You will see 3 lights flash. This blue one saying it's ready to pair. Push it a second time and let go. As you can see, we are fully connected. When your green and blue light are solid, that means you've made connection with your robot. The bottom row shows my battery level on my robot. I'm currently at 75%. If you hear an audible beeping, that means this battery on your controller is low. Now that we've connected it, you have your adjustable speed here, your drive function, forward and reverse, your built-in water solenoid, which allows the water to turn on and off. We currently don't have the water connected. However, if you had your hose connected here, inside there's a water solenoid, and if you listen, hopefully you can hear it on the video here, when I flip this up, you'll hear a click. That clicking sound would now be allowing water to run through the system and would be spraying out on each of these nozzles. Each brush is individually controlled, so we can control forward spin. We're going to engage the second brush. One thing to note, you always want your brushes rotating in the direction you're driving, pushing the dirt forward. Otherwise, you'll be throwing dirty water back onto your panel. So that's very important to note which way your brushes are rotating. Another thing that's important is you never want to take a brush that's on and immediately go to the opposite direction. You want to stop and then go to the opposite direction. Once you've determined which way your brushes are rotating, we now have both our brushes operating in the same direction, and we're going to drive forward. So we would be cleaning right now if this was a dirty system. Obviously, we're just on a shop floor. So that's a real quick way to set up your robot for the first time. To shut it down, it's real simple. Push the red button on the controller. Push the button on your robot.